Good evening, everybody, and welcome to downtown Oklahoma City, which is going to feature the last game of the 2017 USL regular season, as it's the OKC Energy FC playing host to Seattle Sounders FC2. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us on this spectacular Sunday evening. Tyler Terrence joined by none other than Devin Kerr. And Devin, what a great match we have on tap. OKC Energy with a draw or a win can clinch that 6th seed.
I mean, the atmosphere is absolutely amazing. There's so much left to play for, even considering it's the last game of the season. And I'm just really excited to see what's going to bring for us and going into the playoffs.
And one man we're going to keep an eye on from Seattle Sounders, too. Sam Rogers converted to a center back, and he's really thriving in that position.
Yeah, and he was converted as a midfielder. He has great vision. You can see the excellent height and the big frame that he carries. 2 goals and an assist on the season. He actually initially committed to Villanova, decided to go pro. It's going very well for him so far.
Absolutely. Certainly one of the pieces that Ezra Hendrickson has done a very good job with. And on the other side, Jose Angulo possibly maybe getting snubbed out of a USL Player of the Month award.
Well, you know, started off at St. Louis, ended up here through the trade, and you know, with Daniel Jackson, and he has been absolutely on fire. 15 appearances, 10 goals, 5 assists, basically marking in every single game. Great vision, and watch what he can do with his back to goal this evening. 14 goals on the USL season on the whole for Jose Angulo, and here is the playoff picture as it stands for OKC Energy. Seattle Sounders 2 already eliminated from the postseason, and it's quite simple for Jimmy Nielsen's side, but it's not as simple as it might seem. Obviously, with a win or a draw, they get the 6th seed, but then it comes down to who would you rather play? Would you rather travel to Reno, or would you travel to San Antonio? Well, I know what I want. I'm not really sure what Jimmy wants, but, you know, sitting in the 7th spot, I'd feel pretty comfortable playing San Antonio, to be honest. I mean, you got to go on the road either way, but I'd personally much rather go into San Antonio than have to go with Deal and Dane Kelly and Reno, and they are just on fire right now in an offensive prowess that I do not want to have to handle.
Well, OKC and Jimmy Nielsen have played San Antonio 3 separate times this season, and all of them have been draws. Twice draws at home, both 0-0 at Taft Stadium, and then they were on the road at Toyota in San Antonio, and that was a 1-1 draw as well, as they were able to get the late equalizer in stoppage time. And then the results against Reno, it's really only just been one game, and that was the game where Cody Andrews and Cody Lorendi both got hurt on that horrific collision. Cody Lorendi obviously done for the season. Cody Andrews is questionable for today, whether or not he'll be available off the bench. They're hoping that he's going to be ready for the postseason, but by just looking at it, it seems like OKC is maybe better suited to take on San Antonio.
Well, and Jimmy Nielsen said to us, you know, we had a rough game. It was a bad one. And I agree. I think they've proven against San Antonio they're more consistent. And at the end of the day, he said to us, the best thing is we're just playing better.
Absolutely. And obviously on the last day of the regular season in the USL, we have a very special treat. Darcy Lynn, the winner of Season 12 America's Got Talent, a singing ventriloquist, just 12 years old, from nearby Oklahoma City in Deer Creek. She is going to be performing the national anthem. She is absolutely phenomenal.
When we're talking about all the talent on the field, this young lady definitely takes the cake for sure. She's just absolutely amazing. You're going to get a good glimpse of it right now.
And we'll toss it over to Darcy for the national anthem.
Darcy Lynn Farmer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5. Celebrate our 5th anniversary and renew your season membership today.
Your banking needs are personal, none more so than your personal checking. FFB has a checking solution for you. Like FFB's Debit Card Rewards, which earns you points with every debit card purchase. Points for travel, hotels, restaurants, or merchandise from your favorite stores. And as always, you'll enjoy FFB checking perks like mobile deposit, online bill pay, and free ATMs worldwide. That's a lot of punch packed into a little plastic. Visit ffb.com/rewards for more today.
Find out how a Mercy doctor can take care of you. At Mercy, your life is our life's work.
What if you could keep an eye on your business every hour of every day and know where your customers are at any moment? See what your employees are doing or tell if your windows and doors are secure. And what if you could do all that from anywhere? Introducing Cox Business Security. With HD surveillance and 24/7 monitoring, our security never sleeps, so you can. Cox Business Security Solutions. Security that means business.
Back here at Taft Stadium, and here's the starting lineup for Ezra Hendrickson and Seattle Sounders 2. And obviously a lot of firepower up front, but we do have one interesting piece. 16-year-old Azriel Gonzalez getting the start today for Ezra Hendrickson.
16. Wow. Okay, that's impressive. Let's start over. No, yeah, that's impressive for Ezra Gonzalez. S2 doing a great job promoting players, giving them more experience to better off their squad. Watch Brian Nanasink come out on the left-hand side, Denso on the right. They're going to play up high. They will like to get around outside, knock balls back into the middle, and then Narbonne and Sari are going to run the middle for sure. They're kind of pulling the strings for the entire offense. And again, Sam Rogers in the back is definitely the pivotal point of this entire team. Watch for his communication and leadership skills to carry them on throughout the entire match.
Absolutely, and then here is how Jimmy Nielsen, the White Puma, is going to go for OKC Energy FC. Jose Angulo paired up top with Vucci. A little bit of a different look with that, but obviously with Miguel Gonzalez and Alex Dixon out on the wings, plenty of firepower.
Well, and I think the biggest thing you're going to look for is watch Miguel Gonzalez, Juan Pablo, and Jose. That little trifecta right there, they've been very effective as of late, and they need to get things going early, continue the offensive prowess and pushing forward that they've had in the last few matches.
Absolutely, and for OKC Energy FC, obviously in that game against Reno a few weeks ago, they had that terrible collision with Cody Lorendi and Cody Andrews. And it was C.J. Cochran who stepped in, and after stepping in, he's gone 3-0. He's only given up 2 goals, and he has a clean sheet to boot.
Well, and, we talked to Jimmy Nielsen about it, and he just said, it was an unfortunate experience and situation, but we've progressed from it. And the biggest thing is, in the grand experiment of everything that's gone on, we're just playing better, is what he said. We had some unfortunate results, and, just couldn't really blame anyone except ourselves, but we've gotten back to basics. We've gone out. The pieces are starting to fall together much better on a regular basis, and bottom line is, we're playing much better.
Well, I can't believe it, but we are officially underway for the final game of the 2017 USL regular season. So glad that you can join us, and if you've been joining us along the way, we appreciate you even more as we are underway from Taft Stadium. And really, this is a very straightforward game for OKC Energy. As we mentioned before, a win or a draw, and they lock up that 6th seed. However, there are a couple different scenarios where if they're to lose and maybe lose by more than a couple goals, they could fall to as low as the 8th seed.
And again, that's why I said it's so awesome to see at this day and age. We're in the last game of the season, the regular season that is, and yet still everything's not cemented. So a lot of fun left to be had, and it's nice to see these two squads closing out our season.
OKC Energy FC, of course, coming off of that very strong performance against the Swope Park Rangers. Jose Angulo with another terrific performance for Jimmy Nielsen. And it just seems like every game that he's been playing with the White Puma and in the green, that he's just sort of getting better and better and fitting in more so with this group, and they're peaking at a very, very nice time.
When we asked him about that, I said, what do you attribute to your recent success? And he said, obviously we referenced that we're playing better, but he also said that behind closed doors, as a tight-knit group, this is the best squad that he's ever dealt with coaching-wise. So that goes a big way. It's nice to have the chemistry on the field, and that's a very important thing. But when everybody's getting along off the field, that's only going to push you to greatness.
Said that this team just loves to have fun and very loose in the locker room, and then obviously it translates onto the field, and it's really been the front three for OKC Energy FC, Miguel Gonzalez, Alex Dixon, and Jose Angulo, who have really led the charge. But the back line really can't go unnoticed as well. Obviously with Cody Andrews, who sustained that injury against Reno a few weeks ago, he's had to step out. But Anthony Wallace, who's really been a jack of all trade for Jimmy Nielsen, has stepped in and done beautifully filling that center back position.
Well, and interestingly enough, Tyler, on that note, in the first half of this season, they had 19 goals, which went into the back of the net. Now, that's on the offensive side of the ball, but they carried a -2 goal differential. In the second half, they've put away 24, but they're +7. So that's a 9-goal swing. So not only are they finishing, but they're able to maintain that 0 or not let as many go into the goal as they were in the first half of the season. And again, it just attributes to front to back. They're just playing much better. And there's a cohesive unit. You can see the ebb and flow on the field as they move forward and move back. Just much better communication all around.
And the goal differential could prove to be vital, because if OKC Energy were to drop this game, as long as it's a 1-goal difference, they are still going to be able to have the 7 seed rather than the 8. If they do lose by more than 2, if it's not a 3-2 or if it's not a 4-2 result, then they're going to be able to have the 7 seed. So obviously all these things starting to come into play, but for Jimmy Nielsen, it's simple. Get a result and you're the 6 seed. If not, then you're flirting with the possibility of being a 7 or an 8. But as we mentioned before, a big difference between going to Reno and having to play against Chris Wehan and Dane Kelly, who's probably going to win the Golden Boot, barring a spectacular performance from Jose Angulo as this ball gets sent all the way across. Jose Barril chasing it down. There's Alex Dixon getting his first touch. Angulo tripped up in the middle of the field. Be a free kick the other way.
And you're going to see in transition, I talked about Angulo with his back to the goal. Obviously, we're about 80 yards from the opposition's net, but right there you're going to see balls played into his feet. He's going to hold play up very well, look to distribute back outside, players coming off of him. It's a good representation going forward about what you're going to see out of his performance, or what they would like to this evening.
Richard Dixon. Again, as we mentioned before, C.J. Cochran, who is going to be the starting keeper from here on out, barring an injury to CJ, as Cody Lorendi out for the rest of the season with a lower leg injury. The early ball sent in. Here's a good look for Chenka. Blocked in front. Could be an opportunity. Cochran off of his line, and it looks like it is going to be offside. But right off the bat, Seattle Sounders, too, a team who doesn't necessarily have anything tangible to play for, and sometimes those are the most dangerous teams.
Well, and I think the biggest thing is they just have so much talent. And like you said, you don't want it to be – it's kind of hard to use the verbiage of a trap game, because there's so much to play for and so many other variables involved that they can't control, referencing OKC. But S2 is just so talented top to bottom. I mean, we referenced Sam Rogers already. Tyler Miller in goal is a great stud. Ray Sari in the middle of the field. He had an epic college career over at Tulsa, and then paired next to Francisco Narbonne, Geyser Jadoa. So again, a lot of players that can move the ball forward and do so. Just, I think with S2, they've just really struggled with consistency overall, and haven't been able to put the entire package together on a regular basis. And unfortunately, it shows on the table.
Good win from Miguel Gonzalez. Ball gets all the way through for Alex Dixon, and he could be away. 1v1 with Nanasinkum. Alex Dixon into the area. Left-footed shot, and it just creeps wide. And that's how OKC Energy like to operate, quickly on the counterattack, and Alex Dixon leading the charge this occasion.
Yeah, very impressive by OKC. See the ball comes forward, and Dixon's not really sure what he's trying to do. You see him look and peek over his right-hand shoulder if he had any support, and realized he wasn't going to get it. He had to go it alone. Unfortunately, it closed off his angle a little bit, and credit to Tyler Miller blanking that off to the back post as well. But very impressive from OKC going forward.
That's why I think this is going to be one of the tougher teams to face in the playoffs, is because they have the ability to absorb pressure, and then their ability to hit you on the counter is probably second to none. Maybe Phoenix is the only one, as Vucic trying to get on the end of this one, but a great save from Miller, and he'll be able to smother it. Almost out of nothing for Vucic, but Miller with a great save.
Now Waj is going to wish he had that one back. Again, good save from Tyler Miller, but Waj from almost point-blank range buried it right at the goalkeeper. He's got to aim for the corner. Pick out a much better target. But yeah, I agree with you, Tyler. I think that the transition game, Again, obviously defending quite well, but the transition game is very good. And, you know, OKC, Phoenix, neither. And we're going to see another look of what's going on here. And, again, Waj just sitting right at the top of the box, right at the penalty mark, and just hit it right at Tyler Miller. But, again, going back, just going forward, they are so impressive, and there's so much talent. And if you asked me who I thought had the best chance to go through, I wouldn't pick one of the 1 seeds, to be honest. I think Real is probably the most consistent, but I'd probably pick a sleeper like a 5 or 6 Phoenix OKC. You know, that's where they're sitting right now. And then on the other side, Eastern Conference, you know, you start to look at things. There's a lot of veteran leadership in the Rowdies, but I like the Battery at 2. And regardless of what's going on with Charlotte's recent performances, I think they're very well suited to make a run at this as well. Got to finish, but they're a very talented team coached by Mike Jeffries.
Well, they're going to have a very tall task heading to the Capelli Sports Stadium in Western New York to take on Bob Lilly and the Rochester Rhinos, who are sort of like the San Antonio of the East, just basically unbeatable at home. Not to say you can't get a result and get a draw and head to PKs, but it's just very tough to beat them flat out in 90 minutes. Fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 8 p.m. Central Time on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Chenkum trying to bring this down. Not a bad idea, and Wallace able to clear it away.
You can see right now Seattle moving the ball. Sorry's going to be pulling the strings. He'll spray the ball all over the park all night long, constantly trying to transition and make this OKC shift back into place.
Jose Barril tripped up from behind by Ray Sari. And as you mentioned before, Devin, he had a terrific career with the Tulsa Hurricanes from 2013 to 2016. Just 22 years old from Kansas City, Missouri, in his first season with Seattle Sounders, too. He'll be jousting with Jose Barril in the middle of the park for the remaining 82 minutes or so as the offside flag is up on the near side. There's a look at the white Puma, Jimmy Nielsen, who is holding his cards very close to his chest. And when we asked him whether or not he thought that there was a team who his side was better suited to take on in the playoffs, he said, yes, but we're not going to share that with you. And, you know, you obviously expect that from a manager at this point in the season, but he obviously has an idea of what team he would rather take on in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, you just want to be able to continue your fine form and just trying to get a result as Gonzalez gets on the end of this, looking to take on Richard Dixon, but Dixon able to stand him up for the moment.
And Jimmy Nielsen very crafty and coy with his answers. You kind of wanted him to maybe show his cards a little bit, was not willing to do so. And again, you got to give him credit to that because he doesn't want to show his hand too early and give you any idea about what they're expecting going forward and what they'd like to do because, you know, that wouldn't be fair tactically to, you know, to his squad.
Sorry, chased down by Vucic. Ball sent into the corner for Nanasinkum. He's able to bring it down. Back towards the middle. Not a bad ball in. Wallace is there first with his head. And then cleared away by Miguel Gonzalez. Jose Angulo looking to get on the end of it. It's a foot race. Angulo with a bit of a stiff arm. No call from the referee. Still Angulo. Great ball through for Gonzalez. Miller off of his line. Gonzalez. Big touch around Miller. Back for Alex Dixon. Dixon with a shot. Miller with another great save. Juan Pablo Guzman, and his shot is wide.
Wow, and that's very well done by OKC. And, you know, again, it all comes back to Jose Angulo chasing the ball down. Sam Rogers, their center back, did a good job standing him up, but Denso has to do a much better job tracking back as the entire right side of the pitch opened up. OKC able to get a shot off, and you saw Juan Pablo Guzman trailing at the end, trying to get a last-ditch effort to the near post, and Tyler Miller had it covered.
Energy FC's next match is their first round playoff match in the 2017 USL Cup Playoffs. Details about date, time, location, and watch parties will be available on the website energyfc.com. For more info about becoming an Energy FC member, call 235-KICK. And it really is just amazing how Seattle Sounders, too, can have all of this time on the ball and throw numbers forward, and then really in the blink of an eye, it just seems like there's acres of green for OKC to operate on the other end.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't want to leave the room for any point in time whatsoever. You don't want to look down or take a sip of your drink or grab a little bite of food because things change that quick, and it just shows you it's a testament to how they've progressed offensively. They are just firing on all cylinders, and they can go at a moment's notice. Very dangerous.
Vucic unable to keep that in play. Juan Pablo Guzman was very close to scoring 2 goals in 2 games just a moment ago. He scored his first goal as a member of the OKC Energy against Swope Park. Vucic. Dispossess again. He missed a big chunk of the season due to an arm injury. You can see the brace that he has on that left arm of his. This was an OKC side who was bitten by the injury bug very early on in the season. Vucic went down. Philip Rasmussen obviously went down. He was done for the rest of the season. And Cody Lorendi, unfortunately, a lower leg injury as well, and he's done for the rest of the 2017 schedule, including the playoffs. And it really is a testament not only to Jimmy Nielsen, but the front office as well, who have been able to pick up pieces here and there and fill the void and still remain competitive.
I mean, look at everybody that's on the bench this evening. They are just such a talented squad. Again, we're talking about the starting 11 first and foremost, but then you start tracking back in Chad Bond, Michael Daly, Daniel Gonzalez, Andy Craven. I mean, again, the list just goes on, and it's nice to be able to slide those pieces in and out, but more so the fact that you can actually have a continuous play and continuous effort without having to actually make any tactical changes and just put someone else in.
S2 on the move again. Olsen going out wide, but nobody there in a green uniform, and it'll be OKC Energy's throw-in. Kyle Hyland has established himself as one of the better outside backs in the Western Conference. Great ball ahead for Alex Dixon. Plenty of pace. Miller off of his line, and Miller will get there first. Great awareness from the New Jersey goalkeeper as he was able to play sweeper keeper in that role.
Yeah, very well done again. OKC showing their hammer early. Great long ball in behind the back line. Alex Dixon showing that off that speed, and Tyler Miller, Johnny on the spot, coming off his line. Brian Nanasinkum has to be very careful because he likes to move high up in the pitch and get forward offensively, but he's got to make sure that his defensive duties are first and foremost.
Well, it had to be in the scouting report for S2 and for Ezra Hendrickson that if we are going to play a high line and throw numbers forward, that Tyler Miller does need to be active coming off of his line, and he's done a good job so far.
Yeah, I'm not even sure with regard to that scouting report I'd want to play a high line. There's just, there's such a vast amount of speed on this pitch right now, and OKC is showing it off early. You almost want to invite them to push a little bit of pressure, but again, there's just so many different ways that they can beat you, so I guess you got to stick to whatever your gut feeling is and go with it.
Miller, 24 years old, from Woodbridge, New Jersey, in his 3rd season with S2. Attended Northwestern University, was a Wildcat from 2011 to 2014. Just 3 clean sheets on the season. Jankum trying to fight his way through. It's Sorry on the end of it. Finding Jacob in a little bit of space, closed down quickly by Juan Pablo Guzman.
It's crazy to think he's only got 3 clean sheets on the season. He actually had 36 back at Northwestern, which is a school record. So again, a very capable goalkeeper who can make sure that these offenses aren't moving into the back line and pushing goals away, but he's going to need a little bit more support from his back line, some better communication, and just again, we saw Brian Nanasinkum get caught off there, and there could have been a little bit of ball watching too.
Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Cooley brought down by S2. Bad giveaway in the middle. Alex Dixon will get there first. Angulo trying to get on the end of it. Falls for Vucic. Alex Dixon once more. He's been busy early on in the first 15 minutes going for a goal. Did it take a deflection? The answer is no. It'll be a goal kick coming for Tyler Miller.
Yeah, and the Dixon boys were pushing forward there. Richard Dixon was actually made the run on the right side of the field. It was wide open and boatloads of space in front of him, but Alex Dixon had his mind set on goal and glory.
Looks like some footwear malfunction going on between Alex Dixon and S2 defender. Dixon has really been terrific and has benefited a lot from the acquisition of Jose Angulo because he draws so much attention just with his technical ability on the ball that it's just opened up so much green on the field for Alex Dixon to be able to run onto.
Well, and it's nice to have that compliment, if you will, for Alex Dixon, because, again, we talked about Angulo. His vision is absolutely amazing. I mean, there's a couple other players that would compare to him in the USL, but we're just going to stay on him right now. And his vision is so great, and his ability to, as the ball is coming to him, process what's behind him, what's in front of him, what's to the side, everything that's moving. You know, it's much like a chess match that's in constant motion. And as one thing moves, the other 50 pieces on the field move, and he just does a great job at breaking that down right away, making a millisecond decision, and usually it's affecting the team in a positive manner and pushing them into the offensive third. And, you know, we're seeing it so far with Alex Dixon. He's definitely the benefactor tonight.
Dixon with 7 goals on the season. Went through most of the summer just with 2 goals, but as soon as Jose Angulo appeared on the roster and appeared here at Taft Stadium, he has really taken advantage of the time and space that Jose Angulo has occupied, and then obviously Alex Dixon filling the vacant space.
Speaking with Jimmy Nielsen about that, that's what led to our conversation of what's the camaraderie with the team like.
Gonzalez waiting for a great touch to bring it down, squares it across, waiting for a teammate. It wasn't a bad play from the 16-year-old at all.
Yeah, very impressive. He's been pretty well so far out there on the left-hand side. You know, unfortunately made a couple decisions that he'd like to have back, but that's the youth, and he's just gaining more and more experience. Trying to progress forward and continue his career against such a young age, 16 years old. You know, going back, Tyler, we were talking about.
And now Anthony Wallace going to be shown mustard here in the 18th minute. He's a little perplexed.
Anthony Wallace trying to figure out exactly what's being processed through our head referee, Kevin Broadley's mind. I'll give you a hint, buddy. It has everything to do with the color maize.
It's a little bit reckless going in with maybe the studs up. But probably his first foul of the game for Anthony Wallace. So a little bit harsh maybe from the referee. We'll play on. Ray Sari into the box, and OKC Energy will look to break out on the other end. Baril gets caught behind him a little bit. Schenkum trying to bring it down. Good challenge from Juan Pablo Guzman. A little bit away from Miguel Gonzalez. He's trying to track it down. Good hustle from the former Seattle Red Hawk. It'll be S2's throw-in.
You can see right now the back line of S2 pushed so high as Sam Rogers. That's your center back bringing the ball out. And again, we talked about him being converted, so he's got the capability to do so.
David Olsen moving forward, draws the double team. Good organization from OKC Energy. Still with some work to do, though. Seattle Sounders 2, losers of their last 3. And before that, it was a draw against Colorado Springs as well as Reno. Alex Dixon on the near side. The big shot and a save from Miller.
And there's Tyler Miller for sure. Once again, Tyler Miller's got it all covered, but Alex Dixon just continues to be a thorn in the side of S2 this evening.
He's gotten a couple of good looks, but Tyler Miller has been up to the task thus far. OKC Energy knocking on the door. Anthony Wallace on top of the corner for Jimmy Nielsen. Will be an in-swinger with that great left foot of Wallace's. They'll look to play it short. Back for Jose Baril. Spaniard back for Wallace. He's going to have a go, and Miller able to make another save.
Yeah, nice and crafty from OKC there, but again, S2 giving them all the space and time in the world. Wallace having no problem trying to go to goal, trying to go near post, but again, Tyler Miller has it covered. Seems to be the recurring theme in the opening 22 minutes.
Juan Pablo Guzman dispossessed on the far side. David Olsen now. Fans, the USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. About halfway through the first half, Devin. Is this what we expected from these two teams?
Yeah, I think for the most part, you know, S2 doing a good job moving the ball around the field. OKC, when they're going with pace, excellent in transition. I think they could be a little bit more precise on their set pieces from the corner flag, and I think that S2 needs to solidify their back line a little bit, because there is definitely a disconnect when things are in transition and they're not doing a very good job tracking back with OKC's offenders.
Well, S2 certainly have been dominating the possession category, but I would say it's OKC Energy who have produced the better chances up until this point. And it is going to be offside on S2.
Yeah, they've definitely looked a much more dangerous squad going forward, produced better opportunities. It's always nice when you're 23 minutes into a match and you haven't had called CJ Cochran's name.
On the other hand, Tyler Miller has been magnificent so far, not only making a couple of big saves, but coming off of his line and just playing that sweeper-keeper role. And he's prevented the crowd here from Taft Stadium from having an early celebration.
Yeah, and like you said, Tyler, I'm not necessarily sure from a tactical standpoint I would want my squad playing as high as they are. You see a smart decision by Sam Rogers to let that come through on the offside call, and I'm not sure I would play my team that high, but even doing so, you have to wonder if that conversation behind closed doors was, hey, we're going to play a little bit higher, we're going to let Brian get up the pitch, we're going to let Denso get involved and let our boys in the middle of the field hold. But Tyler, you have to be ready when those balls come through to come off of your line and recognize that they're going to need a little assistance as well.
Again, OKC Energy FC, if you're just tuning in, haven't been able to find the back of the net yet, but as it stands, they will be the number 6 seed in the Western Conference standings. A draw or a win will get them that right to travel to Reno and take on Dane Kelly and company. And this is an OKC Energy team who feel like they have a little bit of unfinished business, getting knocked out by Vancouver Whitecaps FC2 in last year's USL Cup Playoffs in the conference semifinals. And that was a team who really struggled to put the ball in the back of the net, but it seems like those days are long gone, and being able to put the ball in the back of the net seems to be a regular occurrence for Jimmy Nielsen's side. It's just a matter of putting together a full 90-minute performance, and in a one-game elimination scenario, which we have in the USL Cup playoffs, all bets are off.
Yeah, for sure. And interestingly enough, on the offensive side of things, you're referencing them going forward and the goals and a little bit more prolific. I asked Jimmy, I said, you know, just out of curiosity, who started the rumors and thought process on the Daniel Jackson, Jose Angulo trade? And again, another coy answer from him, and he didn't really give us much, but he did say, you know, once things opened up, there was a conversation about another player. Daniel Jackson ended up coming into play, and you can't imagine him leaving the squad. But again, Angulo has done an absolutely amazing job coming in. He's really become the catalyst for this offense, and it's provided this spark, and just everybody is just pushing forward now, and they are much more impressive to watch going forward.
Jose Angulo, 10 goals since joining OKC Energy FC. He had 4 over with St. Louis FC and Preki, who played the other game on this Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, drawing with the Bethlehem Steel 1-1. So Bethlehem going to be the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They will travel to Louisville City and take on Luke Spencer and James O'Connor in front of a raucous Slugger Field crowd. And it truly is, Devin, the most wonderful time of the year. I know Christmas is a couple months off, but at the end of the day, USL Cup playoffs, it doesn't get much better than that.
was going to say, I think my Nutcracker collection might have something to say about that, but I agree with you. The USL playoffs, I mean, coming down the stretch in the regular season and going forward, there's so much talent on the field, and you have to wonder how much of the home venues are going to come into play.
Fans, the Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Dunkin' Donuts, iFly Indoor Skydiving, and La Awaqueña Bakery. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold.
You ever done that iFly, Tyler?
No.
You ever been skydiving?
No, can't say that I will either.
It's interesting. It's very fun. Nervousness, but fun. iFly is actually awesome, you know, to be honest. Did the skydiving thing and figured out that my life is probably worth a little bit more than 15,000 feet of free fall.
S2 on the move, gets all the way through for Chenkum, and his shot just over the bar. You can see the frustration on number 99 as he thought he had a very good opportunity to get an early lead there.
Yeah, Chenkum, I mean, very well done turning on a dime, and you're going to see it here on the replay. Ball gets played back across and does a good job on getting on the wrong side of Sam Fink, but as the ball comes across, I think he has a much better angle in his own mind, but CJ Cochran had that near post covered. Not really sure he was going to be able to put anything away.
Felix Chenkum, the second leading scorer on this Seattle Sounders 2 side. 5 goals on the season, and Ezra Hendrickson in this S2 club lost one of their leading goal scorers and playmakers, Irvin Parra, in the middle of the season as he was sent over to Orange County, more so for family reasons than anything. Anthony Wallace will be able to get there, but the flag is going to be up on the far side, and you know, it's really been up to a couple of the other youngsters to be able to step in. Zach Mathers has been one of them. He's not in the starting lineup tonight, but he's another great young player in the Seattle Sounders club who has done a good job of not only scoring goals, but creating as well.
Yeah, Seattle drafted him 35th back in 16, was a prolific talent coming out of Duke, and had a great storied career there. And like you said, other players had to step up, 10 goals, 4 assists on the year, and they kind of used him sparingly at the beginning of the season because of Irving Parra's role. And due to his departure, Mathers has stepped up, seen more playing time, had a little bit more success, a lot more success, I should say. And again, it's just trying to make sure that you get the right pieces on the field and that everybody's getting the correct amount of experience to help push the squad forward and continue to progress down the line. Again, I think they're very talented, especially technically. You'll see the technical capability with all these players is very nice, but I think they're just lacking that chemistry because they have so many moving parts, and it's really hard. When you've got so many guys coming in and out of training and that are on and off the pitch, it's really hard to find that nice cohesiveness throughout a full 90 minutes.
Well, I think it could be said for a couple of teams in the Western Conference standings who, you know, aren't necessarily at the bottom of the table, but are hovering between being able to vie for a playoff spot and towards the bottom of the table. RGV, another club who has tons of talent, but just haven't been able to put together that consistency for long stretches of time that sees them get enough points to be able to be in the top 8. And I think Seattle falls under that umbrella.
Yeah, I mean, you're referencing RGV. In the first 8 games, they gave up 5 goals. I think they were the second-ranked defense in the USL, and just kind of the bottom of the barrel fell out, and just everything kind of had a snowball effect, unfortunately.
Anthony Wallace on top of the free kick, a ways out. Not a bad delivery. Vucic trying to bring it down, but good defending from S2, and they'll be able to come away. Great defending from Juan Pablo Guzman. He's known for those hard challenges in the middle of the park, but as we mentioned before, getting his first goal in the OKC Energy FC green and white against Swope Park in their previous game. Vucic sliding it through for Miguel Gonzalez. S2 asking for offside, not going to get it all the way through, but a great sliding challenge from Brian Nanasinkum. And perhaps they will get the offside flag after all.
I think one of the boys up top just needed to hold their run a little bit longer. You're going to see coming down, going quick, and I don't see it there. I think they actually blew the whistle before on the previous ball played out sign. But again, OKC going forward just so dangerous. You gotta wonder if Jose Angulo just tweaked something there a little bit, got a little trot in his step.
It's like a track meet for this OKC Energy side, is that they're just towing up basically at the last defender and saying, "Come on, play it! Like we want to get going."
Well, and what you're seeing right now is pretty similar, and we reference the two squads to a Phoenix Rising, to where they're more than content of sitting back and letting these possessions and spells come at them, and they'll withstand the waves because they feel like when they go forward, they're second to none.
Vucic brings it down, but was unable to find the darting Alex Dixon. OKC Energy exposed a little bit at the other end. Ray Sari recognizing this. He wants to operate quickly, but has to put the brakes on. Olsen.
I want to see one fast forward from you, Narbonne.
Francisco Narbonne. Penetrating pass, finding Ray Sari. Goes out wide. S2 on the move again. Chenkum bringing it down. It's a long distance effort, and that's into the crowd here at Taft Stadium, and danger averted for OKC Energy.
And Ezra Hendrickson deciding to use a little bit of French on the sidelines there and let Francisco Narbonne. He'd like to see him help with his team's progression down the field, as too many flat balls, too many neutral balls, and balls coming back. This is going forward. Come on, push the ball forward, Francisco. Let's go.
And it was Ryan Giggs of Manchester United who recently said the difference between a good and a great central midfielder, an attacking central midfielder, is not just being able to keep the ball and thinking to yourself, oh, I hope I don't lose it, but being able to break lines of defense, being able to see how can I stretch the defense, how can I make it difficult for them. And I guess that's what Ezra Hendrickson is trying to preach to Francisco Narbonne. Alex Dixon across, and Ray Sari able to clear it away only as far as Richard Dixon.
Yeah, and I think that's what players nowadays are continuing to learn and understand, that it's not always necessarily the ball that you're playing, but you know, where's your touch going? When the ball's coming to you and you're receiving it and the player's approaching you, is that touch going to be lateral? Is it going to be forward? A lot of times you can use that to your advantage, so that when a ball's coming into a Francisco Narbonne, instead of playing it one touch to his side and shifting the entire field of play as the defender is pressing towards him, touch it in front of him, because now the defender has to reverse, and it's a lot harder to stop a full run and go backwards as opposed to just continue to run to the side. And that's what Ezra Hendrickson is referencing, and like you said about Giggs' comments, where when a ball's coming in, make sure you're playing it in a positive manner in any way, shape, or form, not necessarily going forward.
Fans, the Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Dental Works, Central State Beauty and Wellness College, iCakes, Gourmet Cakes and Desserts, and Supermercado Morelos. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. To the 35th minute, no score here at Taft Stadium in the final game of the 2017 USL regular season. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. Glad to have you with us. As S2 looking to knock on the door and finish their regular season on a high note. OKC Energy with a win or a draw have the opportunity to clinch the number 6 seed. Jose Barrio with some fancy footwork to get out of trouble there. Sends it ahead for Alex Dixon. Tyler Miller off of his line. Poor touch from Dixon and allows Miller to clear it away.
Yeah, again, a very, very poor touch from Alex Dixon. You watch OKC, they're going to try and go quick as everybody's still in transition.
And Gulo looking to work some magic on the far side. Back for Alex Dixon, just trying to bend it in. Juan Pablo Guzman going for maybe a Miguel Gonzalez replication. Now S2 on the move. It's a decent challenge from Richard Dixon from behind. Jose Barril's upset as well as Dixon. See if Kevin Broadley offers him a yellow card or not. He was in between a professional foul and trying to win the ball back.
Yeah, that's just Richard Dixon. A little bit of frustration, realizing that his team's caught in back, and you're going to pull a professional foul there. Maybe grab his jersey, give him a nice little arm yank. Not that I've ever done that before, but I've read stories about it. Maybe pull him down, but head referee not going to have it. Fortunately enough, did not end up in the back of the book.
You've never done that once?
Never once, not even as a little child. I was a saint. I wonder, back on that chance a second ago, Alex Dixon's frustration again. All the credit in the world to Tyler Miller, once again coming out high off his line. representing their. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's not only Miller coming off of his line and able to make the play, but it also distracts Alex Dixon, and it makes him think. It makes him think, where am I going to take that first touch? And that's why his first touch has been a little sloppy when he gets into that area.
I mean, the last thing you think you're going to see 35 or 40 yards out from goal is a goalkeeper tracking down on you. But yeah, you're right. It causes frustration, and just that visual representation on the side of his mind is going to cause an issue. You're going to get another look here as Waj gets taken down. Rodriguez a little bit too aggressive in the defensive third there.
Vucic, certainly a big frame. Native from Poland, does a great job of just holding up play for OKC Energy and just being able to link up with Jose Angulo, Alex Dixon, Miguel Gonzalez. Certainly missed by Jimmy Nielsen and company when he missed the majority of the season with that arm injury. Juan Pablo Guzman sending it towards the back post. And it'll be a goal kick for Tyler Miller.
Yeah, trying to mess around with a little set piece. Probably fooled around in practice sessions with that. Trying to knock the ball to the back post to Sam Fink and have him knock it back across goal, but just poor execution coming down the line.
Mentioned before during pregame that Cody Andrews, of course, sustained that injury in that collision with Cody Lorendi that saw Cody Lorendi done for the rest of the season against Reno a couple weeks ago. And Cody Andrews listed as day-to-day at the moment, hoping to get him healthy for the playoffs. But Sam Fink has stepped in and done a great job, and Anthony Wallace, as he's done all season, has really just said to Jimmy Nielsen, your wish is my command. I'll go play goalkeeper if you need me to, and he's done a fantastic job wherever he's stepped in.
How about the praise that Nielsen's given them as well? And he just said, you know what, credit to those guys. It's not easy to be put in that position or situation to come out on top. And he says, you know, every single training they continue to surprise me and impress me, and that's a nice thing to have in your back pocket. Imagine when everybody's healthy again going forward. I mean, obviously we want to think here and now and what's going to happen in the playoffs, but continuing to strengthen this squad down the line could be a force to be reckoned with for years to come.
Baril finding Jose Angulo in some space away from the first defender. The referee did not see any further advantage, and it will be a free kick for OKC Energy FC, and now a yellow card for Francisco Narbonne.
Very late from Francisco Narbonne, and he knew right away, and the referee trying to give advantage and let them play on, but Jose Baril grabbing a cleat from Francisco Narbonne. He just stepped in a little bit too late, showing a little bit of the stud to him.
Looks like medical attention is going to be waved on to 10-2 Jose Baril.
You're going to see as they're just starting to push numbers forward, and yeah, Francisco Narbonne just continuing forward with his instep. Probably grabs him from the bottom of the cleat, just right on the ankle for Jose Baril.
Is that the right call from the referee to stop the play there?
Yeah, 100%, especially because he let it progress for a second, and then ball was immediately turned over, space was closed down, so there was no real advantage being presented to OKC. So very smart to give him an opportunity to go forward. Wasn't able to happen. Blows the whistle, reset, 10 to Jose, and give Jose the opportunity that they were looking for.
And Baril on his feet here at Taft Stadium. Beautiful place for some football, and seen some great fans come through the gates here at Taft Stadium and supported the green and white throughout the entire season. They won't get an opportunity to see their team at home, barring some crazy upsets around the Western Conference. If they are to get the 6th seed, it's not crazy to think that a 7 or an 8 could get an upset. We've seen it before, Orange County upsetting Sacramento in the first round of the playoffs a year ago. That was an 8-1 upset. Anthony Wallace trying to bend it in, doesn't get past the first defender.
And once again, you asked me earlier what I thought about the match so far, and OKC showing again that on their set pieces, there's just no real precision whatsoever. Very lackadaisical in their efforts, and I mean, you're 30 yards from goal. Give your teammates an opportunity to make a play on the ball, and just poor service and distribution from Anthony Wallace. It's got to be much better from there.
There's going to be offside on Angulo. A little more than 5 minutes remaining plus stoppage time here at Taft Stadium. Still no score between OKC Energy FC and S2. S2 eliminated from playoff contention, and again OKC Energy and Jimmy Nielsen with a win or a draw can get that 6th seed. a loss of more than 2 goals, and they could possibly be looking at an 8 seed and have to travel to the Shield winners, the Real Monarchs in Rio Tinto, where the entire USL Cup playoffs are going to go through.
I can tell you what, Tyler, in all the scenarios that we've played out, that is the last place they want to go. You know, we talked about the possibility of sliding to the 7 and playing San Antonio, obviously staying in the 6th spot and having to deal with Reno. Again, 2 very capable and talented squads, but the last thing I want to do is have to face up against the mighty Monarchs in the first round.
But you did mention earlier that it's not an impossible task, and you're not a huge fan of these 1 seeds in terms of running the table.
I just think that with everything that's going on, and I understand the home field advantage is a big thing, but there's just, I think the other squads, not the 1 seeds, have had much better performances as of late and coming down, and all they need to do is continue to have a stretch. I mean, you basically got to put 4 away is what you got to do, and there are multiple squads that have come through a Phoenix Rising and an OKC that have been able to do so and give you that stretch.
Great breakout here from OKC Energy. Angulo sliding it through for Vucic. Vucic, and he finishes it off. It's a clinical counterattack from OKC Energy FC. Vucic puts it away. It's an early 1-0 lead for OKC Energy, and they're on their way to a number 6 seed in the Western Conference playoffs.
And Waj looking like he's already in the 3-point shootout, dropping bombs from all over the place, and what a freaking clinical finish that was to the near post. Absolutely delightful. You're going to see OKC going with numbers. Jose Angulo, we talked about his back to goal, this time going directly at the S2 defense, just knocks the ball into space, and Waj says, no problem, look at me, I can fly. And another look, Tyler Miller, and to be honest, Tyler Miller, he hesitated poorly, and it cost him dearly. And Waj had no problem stepping into the corner, nice little step over, showing you his 3-point precision. And you're gonna get the grid going, 1 voice, 1 city, they like to say.
And you can see what it means to Vucic. Missed so much time during the regular season, and just for him, glad to be back on the field and playing the sport that he loves. And to boot, he's scoring goals as well in the final regular season game of the 2017 schedule. It's his 3rd goal this season. It's Angulo's 6th assist of the season. And we do have a Seattle player who's down. And it looks like it's Adoa.
And guy Serge Adoa down on the counter-attack. And you know what's really cool to see on that goal there is that so many pieces involved going forward in the transition, and it's 100 miles an hour, but they show you, they go with pace, and they go with all this speed, and everybody's got the great spacing, so many options. I was actually pointing to the right, thinking Angulo was going to go to his right, decided to go back to the left, obviously made the better choice, able to finish it off. And then in the celebration, just everybody joining in together, and it's, again, another testament to Jimmy Nielsen and this squad, and that cohesive unit that we referenced, and everybody taking joy and greatness off of that 1-0 lead here in the closing moments of the first half.
Well, I mean, if Jimmy Nielsen could draw it up as to what a counterattack should look like, how it should be played out, what the finish should look like, what the movement off the ball should look like, I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, outside of myself coming out of the back with the ball, playing center back for him, that's probably exactly how he drew it up.
1-0 lead for OKC Energy FC as we do resume. Vucic with the goal and Gula with the assist. And the Greens right now in a very good position to take the number 6 seed in the Western Conference playoffs and travel to Greater Nevada Field to take on Reno 1868. Christopher Weehan and company. And it looks like we're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time. Nanasinkum bothered a little bit by Richard Dixon. Cochran covers it up. And what a way to end the first half if you're OKC Energy FC.
So going to push a little bit of life into this squad for sure. OKC having a lot of opportunity in the first half, probably a little bit of frustration coming out, not able to closing those opportunities out. But again, not backing down, continuing to stick to their game plan and going forward. And I'm sure Ezra Hendrickson and the S2 squad are going to be very frustrated as well because they've had some opportunities. Sam Rogers is going to try and get his squad back on track here. And Tyler Miller very busy this first half. Hesitation on the goal. Not sure whether or not he would have been able to get to that opportunity. But again, just OKC so dangerous going forward. And give credit to them because that was a clinical finish.
OKC Energy maybe looking for one more before the half. Here's Vucic sending it along for Miguel Gonzalez. Look at the confidence from the boys in green, or the boys in white rather. Miguel Gonzalez all the way across, and it's cleared away by Nanasinkum. Guzman back for Vucic. Finds Miguel Gonzalez waiting out on that left flank. Baril. Long for Richard Dixon. Dixon connection just a beat off there. Idoa. Big switch cut out by Alex Dixon momentarily, but it falls right to Brian Nanasinkum. Ray Sari. Just trying to clip it through, not a bad ball in. Chenkum trying to bring it down. Cochran will be able to see that out of play. It'll be a goal kick, and that might be the last opportunity of the first half.
Solid ball by Ray Sari coming down through the middle. Haven't had the opportunity to call his name a lot. He is the maestro of that midfield, but OKC doing a great job locking him down for the most part of the first half, and just a nice ball played in. And I think I'm trying to get involved. Put something on his highlight reel for sure.
Good flick on from Vucic. Alex Dixon will be able to get there. Angulo and Gonzalez waiting. Dixon into the box. It's a great little flick on, but right at Tyler Miller. Had everybody on the edge of their seat, including my broadcast partner, almost made it 2-0.
Yeah, speaking of highlight reels, Alex Dixon and Miguel Gonzalez had ideas of their own, trying to grab something in the closing moments of this first half, just before the end of stoppage time.
S2 maybe with one more opportunity, but it's cut out by Anthony Wallace. Cleared away by Jose Baril. Kevin Broadley takes a look at his watch. And that's going to do it for the first half. OKC Energy FC halfway there to the number 6 seed in the Western Conference standings. Vucic with the goal off of a clinical counterattack from OKC Energy FC. Jose Angulo with a terrific assist. Devin Kerr, what a terrific first half we have had here in the last game of the 2017 USL regular season. We'll be back in just a few moments. 1-0 at the half to OKC Energy.
Your banking needs are personal, none more so than your personal checking. FFB has a checking solution for you. Like FFB's debit card rewards, which earns you points with every debit card purchase. Points for travel, hotels, restaurants, or merchandise from your favorite stores. And as always, you'll enjoy FFB checking perks like mobile deposit, online bill pay, and free ATMs worldwide. That's a lot of punch packed into a little plastic. Visit ffb.com/rewards for more today.
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5. Celebrate our 5th anniversary and renew your season membership today.
1-0 here at Taft Stadium as the fans here in Oklahoma City will grab a quick snack, and we hope that you will do the same as well as Vucic right now has the lone goal in this one. 1-0 lead for OKC Energy FC as they are halfway to the number 6 seed in the Western Conference playoffs. And Energy FC forward Andy Craven has a passion for playing soccer. He also has a bit of a sweet tooth. When that sweet tooth awakens, Andy's choice is a donut. Energy FC digital reporter Brent Skarkey joined Andy and News OK's food editor on a journey to 3 different donut shops in OKC. If your mouth doesn't water after watching this, you must not like donuts.
You wouldn't think it by looking at him, but Energy forward Andy Craven has a thing for donuts, all shapes and sizes. The love developed in his days with the Seattle Sounders and continues today. We decided to team Andy with News OK food dude Dave Cathy to take a tour to Donut of OKC. First stop, downtown, Kitchen 324.
And a lemon donut.
Oh, donut.
It is our take on the cronut, a peanut butter chocolate one as well, an apple fritter, and a maple French cruller. Enjoy.
Wow. I'm going to cut these up. This is a fork and knife donut over here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there's peanuts, peanut butter, chocolate, like everything bad for you is in there. But that tastes good.
This is my pregame meal right here.
New pregame meal. Happening.
Big bite.
Can we go to Krispy Kreme?
I feel like we're going to be getting a lot of donuts in today.
I know. It's like, got to get through this thing.
One bite from each is like a total of 2 donuts. That one good?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's good. Sweet.
Wow, that was sweet.
I'm gonna get into this one here. The lemon.
I think the fritter's my favorite.
Oh man.
Next up, the godfather of OKC Donuts, Brown's Bakery in Midtown. Opened in 1946, the spread was more than ample for Dave and Andy.
He was just talking about.
That's their signature. Oh, that's good.
This.
That's a very, very good. That's a very, very good chocolate cake donut.
Oh, these are bomb. Yeah.
A lot of them don't taste like chocolate. That tastes like chocolate.
Is the pumpkin good?
It's good. It's not too pumpkin-y.
Sour cream.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I think the sour cream donut's my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
pretty popping.
I hadn't had that one before.
Final stop, just up the street from Taft Stadium, Dunkin' Donuts, and a sweet treat that hits pretty close to home.
Cheers.
Cheers. I was thinking the same thing.
Very nice. I expect to see these thrown all over the field next time you score.
That's what I'm talking about. I'll catch it in the air.
Craven crew, if you're listening, here they are. Fire at, well, not at will. He's got to score. And try to keep it towards the corner flag, because you don't want to stop the game too much.
So next time you see Andy send home a PK, remember, he's probably going to reward himself with a donut after the match. For Energy FC TV, I'm Brent Skarkey.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing.
I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels.
After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak.
Meals on Wheels, coming to my door as someone who's housebound, having someone check on me, assures me that I'm not forgotten.
Meals on Wheels has given me a mode of freedom that I wouldn't have otherwise.
We're the clients.
We are the clients.
We are the clients of Meals on Wheels.
America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
At halftime, welcome to our USL studios. Storylines abound in the USL as the season nears its conclusion. Record-setting attendance, just one of the many focal points that we could talk about. It's what we do talk about here. With Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts, big milestones over the weekend. At Rio Tinto Stadium, over 8,000 witnessed as the regular season championship trophy was hoisted by the Monarchs. It's just part of a larger milestone weekend for the league.
And the big story of the league is the USL crossed the 2 million in total attendance mark and became the first North American Division II league to do so.
But it's not the league that does it, it's individual teams. They're setting records too.
And that's led by FC Cincinnati with almost 340,000 fans at Nippert Stadium during their home games this season. Also, Sacramento Republic FC averaged a sellout crowd each home game at Papa Murphy's Park this year. Ottawa Fury FC also saw 6 figures in their season attendance.
In total, it's 2 million through the turnstiles. It's a giant increase league-wide.
An increase of 33% so far, and there's still 1 week to play.
So the story is about expansion, teams rising, teams falling, playoff hopes, some dashed, some just now beginning to find its legs. We're enjoying all the fans that have made it out so far, many more to come. For Morgan Conklin, Mike Watts for the USL Network, enjoy the second half.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Every day across America, excess food is gathered by a network of good people at local food banks, giving hope to millions of children who struggle with hunger. They've earned their wings, and you can too. Together, we can solve child hunger. Support Feeding America and your local food bank at feedingamerica.org.
Still halftime here at Taft Stadium, 1-0 to OKC Energy FC. Vucic with the goal right before the stroke of halftime. Angulo with the assist. We'll step away for another brief moment. 1-0 here at the half.
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5. Celebrate our 5th anniversary and renew your season membership today.
What if you could keep an eye on your business every hour of every day and know where your customers are at any moment? See what your employees are doing or tell if your windows and doors are secure. And what if you could do all that from anywhere? Introducing Cox Business Security. With HD surveillance and 24/7 monitoring, our security never sleeps, so you can. Cox Business Security Solutions. Security that means business.
Find out how a Mercy doctor can take care of you. At Mercy, your life is our life's work.
Still halftime here at Taft Stadium as Vucic right now has the lone goal for Jimmy Nielsen and OKC Energy FC, who are continuing to jockey for playoff position in the final game of the 2017 USL regular season. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr. And Devin, will take a look at some of the best moments from the first half. And right off the bat, OKC Energy had plenty of room to play on the counter.
Yeah, the Energy was in full force and full effect. As you're going to see Alex Dixon very active in the first half, trying to cut his angle, go one-on-one, go into the far post. But again, Tyler Miller had a great angle cut down, and Alex Dixon had to go back to the drawing board.
It seemed like Dixon was the beneficiary of a lot of open space. Vucic just a few moments later was denied by Miller.
Yeah, watch, definitely going to want that one back. We said ball just fell on the doorstep right around the penalty mark, and as it came through, Tyler Miller again, so busy and so active, definitely kept this S2 squad in the match in the first part of this half.
And then just a few minutes after the Vucic missed opportunity, Juan Pablo Guzman unable to follow it up. He was looking for his second goal in 2 games, getting his first goal as a member of the OKC Energy FC side in their last game against Swope Park. And then a few minutes later, Anthony Wallace would pick up a yellow card. That was actually his first foul of the game. And then S2 would start to find a rhythm a little bit in the middle of the first half.
Yeah, right after that yellow card, as you mentioned, Kevin Broadley, our head referee, giving Anthony Wallace yellow card, S2 turning things around, and then OKC Energy just continuing to push. Alex Dixon getting in all by himself with just a very unfortunate first touch. Tyler Miller playing so high again. I think he just caught a little bit of vision again. The goal just leading down here. The ball from Angulo, sensational. The finish by Wadj, exceptional. Just all around a great play going forward.
Absolutely. It was Vucic's 3rd goal of the year. Angulo give him his 6th assist. One more time. Just a little dink to the side and Vucic running onto it. And it was really just a beautiful counterattack from start to finish. I mean that both literally and figuratively, the finish from Vucic, obviously, and then the little celebration afterwards as well. And here are the stats from the first 45 minutes as well. And again, OKC Energy FC, one of those teams very similar to Phoenix in that regard, where they have the talent to possess, but they'd rather say, go ahead, take the ball in your own defensive third. We're going to try to hit you on the counter when you're exposed at the back.
Well, not only that, when they go forward, you're going to see that big number right there, 10 shots. A lot of other teams, sometimes you'll see 10, 11, 12 shots, but they're not very accurate, and they're only putting 1 or 2 or 3 on target. They've got 6 shots on goal. So you start playing the statistics, you know, it's going to add up to more finishes and more chances. And on S2 side of things, as they've gone forward, although they've maintained more possession, just not really a lot going forward, not a lot of creativity, and they're lacking that final third presence.
And with just 45 minutes remaining in the 2017 USL regular season, we'll obviously take a look at what's next, and that's the Eastern and Western Conference playoffs, all vying for the 2017 USL Cup. And as it stands right now, OKC Energy are going to be traveling to Reno as the number 6 seed. And Sacramento will fall to the 8th. And we are underway in the second half here at Taft Stadium. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, thank you for joining us on this final evening of the 2017 USL regular season. Hard to believe that we're already here. And for a lot of teams, they're packing up the balls and they're going to have to give it another go next season. And for 16 teams, the dream will continue. And really with the 1-game elimination, no first or second leg or any of that nonsense, just 1 game, 1 and done, or you're out. All bets are off, and we've seen a number of times in the USL playoffs before the 1 seed getting taken down and lower seeds getting plenty of upsets, and it's not crazy to think that this is an OKC Energy team who has the tools to be able to go deep because they are stout at the back and their ability to absorb pressure.
And again, if you're going to be hot, right now is the time to do it, and that's why you talk about the frustrations of other squads, like the inconsistency in some of the performances by Louisville, Charlotte as well. Obviously, that's the easiest one to talk about. But OKC and Phoenix, though both in the West, so dangerous going forward, and the frustration that causes for teams and opposing defenses. And again, all you got to do is get on a nice little run of games and hope for the best coming down the stretch.
And we did have a substitution at the half as it was Zach Mathers coming in and replacing Ray Sari. So Zach Mathers, the leading goal scorer on this S2 side, coming in for the second 45 minutes here at Taft Stadium. And as we mentioned before, it's either Reno or San Antonio, depending on whether or not OKC can get a result or not out of this game. A win or a draw, and they're the 6th seed. A loss, and they are traveling to San Antonio, a loss by more than 2 goals. And they find themselves as low as the 8th seed, having to travel to the Real Monarchs. And we mentioned before, OKC Energy, 3 ties against San Antonio this season, and then against Reno, it was a 3-0 loss away and a 1-0 loss home. Doa trying to get on the end of it. Miguel Gonzalez dispossesses him.
And you saw Zach Mathers there coming on and showing you his solid footwork and technique in the middle of the field. That's what you're going to get out of him. He's very concise about his decisions. He knows exactly what he likes to do, and he's going to go very similar to OKC's. He's direct, very quick, crafty little player, excellent vision, and OKC needs to be very careful. They don't want to make any mistakes in the defensive third because he is an excellent dead ball specialist. Any free kicks in or around the box, he has no problem stacking up and having a go at goal.
Well, it's interesting that he came on and was replaced Ray Sari. You would sort of like to see the combination of Sari and Mathers in the middle of the field. We've seen it plenty of times this season, but in the last game of the season, maybe just trying to get a result and end on a high note. Here's OKC Energy on the move again, but first touch a little bit too heavy from Vucic.
Yeah, the two midfielders, although very similar in some of their traits, you know, Sari a little bit more of a holding midfielder role and likes, as I said, likes to pull the strings from a more defensive position in that midfield, and Zach Mathers likes to push forward a little bit more. You're going to see him play a lot higher.
Great ball through. Miguel Gonzalez is in. Gonzalez! And he's able to tuck it away. Great vision once again from Jose Angulo, and this time it's Miguel Gonzalez who's the beneficiary. 2-0 to OKC Energy, and it looks like they are going to be heading to Reno in the first round of the 2017 Western Conference Playoffs.
Well, coming into this, Tyler, we said at the top of the broadcast, you know, what was going to need to happen for them to have success this evening, and I said, watch for Juan Pablo, Miguel Gonzalez, and Jose Angulo to all be involved. How about the vision again from Jose Angulo? Two absolutely spectacular balls played in tonight. Two phenomenal assists. As you're going to get Miguel Gonzalez gets in behind the back line. The disconnect again, we talked about it in the first half. It's carried over into the second half. Miguel Gonzalez, the benefactor, and just like that, OKC jumps out to an early 2-0 lead in the start of this second half.
8th goal this season for Miguel Gonzalez, coming just about 4 minutes after we started the second half. Jose Angulo with his 2nd assist on the evening and his 7th on the season as a whole. And this OKC Energy attacking front featuring Alex Dixon, Miguel Gonzalez, Jose Angulo, and obviously Vucic as well, firing on all cylinders and really peaking at the right time. And we talked about before in previous broadcasts as well as today how important it is for teams to be able to be peaking at the right time, and how, you know, there's a Charlotte Independent side in the Eastern Conference who were great in the middle portion of the season and good at the beginning, but faltering towards the end. And if you're OKC Energy, regardless of what seed you are, you just want to be playing the best football possible, and that seems to be the case.
And it gives you all the confidence in the world. And coming into this match, we talked about seeding and, you know, what did Nielsen want going in? Was he going to end up at the 7? Were things going to go drastically wrong and end up as an 8? Was he going to jump up into the 6? And he obviously has no reservations whatsoever about what his intentions are going forward. They have no problem stepping in and going on the road, end up playing Reno, at least at this point in time. And again, that confidence just so nice to see, and oozes all over the field, and it's contagious. You know, the fans can feel it, all the players can feel it, the coaching staff gets involved, and when you have an environment like that, it can only breed success.
And we do have a player down for S2. And Kevin Broadley saying it could be a potential head injury, so play immediately stopped. And it is the Cameroonian Felix Chenkum, one of 3 Cameroonians starting for Ezra Hendrickson tonight. Gayadoa as well as Rodrigue L.
You're going to see the two of them just challenging for the 50-50 ball. Anthony Wallace using that big frame, trying to rise up and knocked Felix Chenkum off the ball. Able to do so and just batted heads a little bit. Chenkum looks like he's back on track, though.
And S2 will play it back towards Cochran as OKC Energy were in clear possession when the stoppage occurred. And fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast with Mike Watts Mondays at 8 p.m. Central Time on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. Also, don't forget, SiriusXM FC will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Cleared away by Kyle Hyland. CJ Cochran hasn't all that much work to do. Hasn't made a save yet tonight. And credit this OKC Energy back line as well as the middle of the field, and just not allowing a ton of space for S2 to operate.
I was just going to say just a second ago, a little bit of disconnect in the back line. You saw Anthony Wallace chasing a ball over to the touchline on his left. And now what you want to see out of OKC is obviously the excitement going forward and all the energy that they'd exhibit, both from their fans and the squad itself going forward. It would be nice to see them get another goal and continue to push forward, but also just complete the full game. You know, make sure that you're stout in the middle of the field, stay nice and tight with that back line, make sure CJ Cochran has excellent communication between the entire squad, because you want to keep that 0 up there as well.
Vucic, big ball ahead for Miguel Gonzalez. Well defended by S2. And Devin, we asked Jimmy Nielsen this question, and it's hard to believe that this was his answer when we asked him what OKC Energy needed to work on heading into the postseason. He said finishing. I mean, this is a team who's been scoring bags and bags of goals as of late, but he feels like they've been creating enough chances where they can go ahead and get more, and he'd like them to be more clinical. From your standpoint, A, do you agree with that? And B, is there anything else they need to work on?
I actually think I would agree. Although they've been putting up goals, if you look at the chances they had in the first half, you definitely thought it should have probably been at least 2-0, if not 3. A couple point-blank chances. You know, Waj had that sitter right on the penalty mark, hit it right at Tyler Miller. Again, good save by Miller. Still has to make the save, but when you're wide open like that from, 10 yards away from the keeper, you got to put something into the corner, get it away from him, and he didn't do that. And then obviously Anthony Dixon was so busy in the first half and just not really able to make much of his chances. So again, easy 2-0, possibly 3, only ended up with 1.
Gonzalez working on the outside, sends it across, no deflection, and it will be a goal kick for CJ Cochran. Cochran has yet to make a save tonight. As you mentioned before, he is filling in for Cody Lorendi, who's done for the rest of the season with a lower leg injury after that nasty collision with his own teammate Cody Andrews a few weeks ago at Reno. And wouldn't you know it, as it stands right now, OKC Energy are going to be traveling to Reno for the first round of the Western Conference Playoffs in a week's time. Certainly a difficult task, Ian Russell's side. So much firepower on the offensive end, and stingy at the back as well. It's their goal scoring that's really been claiming all of the headlines. They broke the USL record for goals in a season as they continue to pad that statistic in the last couple of weeks of the 2017 schedule. But between Christopher Wehan, Antoine Hoppeneau, and Dane Kelly, I mean, you can make the argument that that's probably the best 3 in the Western Conference and possibly the USL.
Yeah, and that's going to be a very difficult task for this backline of OKC going forward if that's who they do end up playing, pending the result here today. But again, we talked about all the talent going forward for OKC, but don't sleep on Kyle Highland and Anthony Wallace, Sam Fink, Richard Dixon. I mean, to be fair, we've really only had to mention Anthony Wallace's name, and it's never a terrible thing when you're not bringing up the 4 boys in the back, Again, Anthony Wallace with that unfortunate yellow card, but everybody else basically had one opportunity here and there going forward, but stout defensively in the back, and stayed in constant communication with the middle of the field. It's been very impressive.
Barrio sliding it through. Angulo's on side. Jose Angulo chopping it back. Angulo, oh, what a finish. Absolutely clinical from Jose Angulo. He's been distributing, and now he's the finisher. 2 assists and a goal on the night. They're running rampant at Taft. 3-0 to the home side.
Yeah, Jose Angulo, wow. I mean, geez, this guy can do everything. We talked about the amazing vision and his ability to play with his back to the goal, and you saw the distribution on both the assists from him, but this time looking to go one-on-one and just turns every single player on S2 around. You can see Rodriguez having a little bit difficulty at time getting his ballerina lessons in the middle of the box, and Jose Angulo decided to go upper 90, and just what a solid finish in the 56th minute. And that young man right there seems like he's been around for ages. Still the 29-year-old doing so well, 2 assists and a goal in the evening. Very impressive from him.
15th goal of the season for Jose Angulo. And what a second half for the United Soccer League season it has been for that man. Certainly a journeyman at his very core. He's bounced around from team to team in the United Soccer League, and he's a guy who just makes the most of whatever opportunity he's in. He's like water. He'll just sort of morph into whatever situation he's thrown into, and he has been such a good acquisition. And it's a testament to him as a person as well, because we see a lot of players who are strictly goal scorers or strictly playmakers in terms of getting assists, and this seems to be like a guy who can really do it all.
Yeah, he can play that pivotal role, like you said, Tyler, anywhere that you need him to be. He can play that high solid forward where the ball's played into him and everybody works off. He can kind of drop down into the center of the park a little bit more, kind of play a 10 role and give great distribution. We've seen him on set pieces. Again, just so talented in so many different ways.
Mathers with the free kick all the way across. Adoa was looking for it, and he's upset with himself as that was a very good opportunity. We'll take another look one more time at the Jose Angulo goal, as it was a thing of beauty.
Angulo again, you see him just gets to the corner of the box, and you think he's actually going to slide it across to Alex Dixon. Alex Dixon almost pointing to his foot like, hey, mate, how about me? I want to get in on the fun, too. Angulo showing a nice little smile there, but Angulo with the one-on-one skills, cutting it back and going with that strong left foot of his. Again, excellent finish.
Fans, the Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like All-American Roofing, Abel's Mexican Restaurant, MVS Seamless Guttering, Latino's Supermarket, and Kottner Law Group. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. Angulo taken down by Mathers. Mathers going to offer a helping hand. And what a way to send the fans here at Taft Stadium home with. This is sent all the way across. Miguel Gonzalez, and Miller able to make the save. Almost out of nothing for Miguel Gonzalez, looking for his second goal.
Once again, OKC just showing their capability to, as you mentioned, morph into so many different forms. Pushing the ball outside again into Miguel Gonzalez, and Miguel Gonzalez trying to get the brace, but excellent save by Tyler Miller.
And it looks like we're going to have a goalkeeper switch for Seattle Sounders too, as it's going to be Cody Lang getting ready to come in to replace Tyler Miller. Miller obviously giving up the 3 goals, but not much he could have done about the 3 that were put past him. And it probably could be 4, 5, or 6-0 if not for his performance in the first half.
And that's going to show you the frustration by their skipper, Ezra Hendrickson. And it's never good when in the 60th minute of a match you're down 3-0, yet alone making a goalkeeper change. Obviously, you hope there's no injury involved.
So OKC operating quickly on the counter once more. Goes all the way back for Miller. And it is going to be the youngster Cody Lang coming on. And he will replace the New Jersey goalkeeper Tyler Miller. Had a couple of very good saves in the first half, but being subbed off here in the 60th minute. So an odd keeper change here at the hour mark, and Cody Lang between the 6 now for Ezra Hendrickson.
Well, Cody Lang, you know, he's got another. Ezra Hendrickson has another goalkeeper in him that he's, you know, nice big 6'4" frame. Obviously a great career at Seattle Pacific University. Just joining S2. He training there most of the spring and signing with them, and former Conference Defender Player of the Year in the GNAC. He actually holds the conference record for the career shutout. So nice for Hendrickson to be able to go into his back pocket with that, but unfortunately with 3-0 down, it's going to be very difficult to track back with that.
Olsen finding Mathers, looking for some space, and not a bad idea for Mathers, but just wide of Cochran, who has yet to make his first save of the evening.
And that's Zach Mathers. Looks like he's put a little bit of muscle on, gotten a little bit bigger since his transition into the pro games, and good for him. And well done, ball just letting it come across his body, trying to have a go with his left foot, and unfortunately his momentum just carrying over, hits it with a little bit of spin and pushed it just outside the post.
Well, we've been talking a lot about OKC Energy FC and what lies ahead for them in the postseason. But for Seattle, obviously, plenty of talent on the field. And we'll get back to them in just a moment as we have another counterattack unfolding for OKC Energy FC. Richard Dixon through for Alex Dixon. Dixon all the way across, but it's on the wrong side of the post. And it will be a goal kick for Cody Lang. But back to S2. What lies ahead for them? What do they need to fill in terms of the offseason? We'll get one more look at this opportunity.
And again, Alex Dixon just continuing forth, and Angulo have a nice little look-see from the middle of the goal. He's been there quite often this evening. And I think with S2, you know, they just, again, we talked about their consistency. I think that's the biggest thing for them. And obviously some young talent on this team, and they're just going to need to get some more experience under their belt.
S2 operating on the other end. It is going to be offside. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Whole Foods, Carl's Plax, Anthem Brewing, and Buffalo Wild Wings and Northwest Expressway. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold.
And as you run through the roster, Tyler, you know, Felix Jenkins, we just got to look at him there and needed to hold that run a little bit. But the Cameroonian, 18 years old. We talked about Azriel Gonzalez, 16 years old. David Olsen, 21. And you just continue to track back where the average age is just so young. I mean, obviously we mentioned Sam Rogers at the top of the broadcast. You could have a good look at the center back right there. And they're just continuing to gain more and more exposure and experience, and game in, game out, week in, week out, all of that leads to the progression in their games at bettering themselves. And again, we'll continue to bring this team together where, you know, they won't be, hopefully won't be that borderline squad where they're only a couple points off that playoff picture and they can move into that top 8 next year.
Well, this was a side that for a few weeks during this summer, just because they had played so many games and gotten some good results, as we have a foul on the far side, they were sitting inside of the top 8, and they were sitting there for a little while, and then sort of the wheels started to fall off a little bit. The consistency aspect of it wasn't really up to par, and slowly but surely found themselves on the outside looking in, and that's where they finished off the 2017 regular season. But just trying to finish on a strong note, take something positive out of this match here at Taft Stadium. But they've run into an OKC Energy team who really are probably one of the hottest teams entering the playoffs at the moment.
Yeah, and again, I think for tonight's performance, S2, it's been a lack of communication, and you know, there's a disconnect between the midfield and the back line. Sam Rogers has to do a better job staying in contact with those guys, and OKC obviously so much talent going forward, but when they're pushing numbers like that, maybe don't push so much of your squad up, because you do expose yourself. You know, and they've definitely shot themselves in the foot a few times this evening, and you don't want the likes of Anthony Wallace playing 30, 40-yard balls in behind your back line with Jose Angulo and Waj and Miguel Gonzalez running onto it. You know, minimize your mistakes, capitalize on your opportunities, and they just haven't been able to do either.
Over the top for Angulo, trying the very clever flick, but wasn't able to get it right. As we're getting word now that Jonathan Brown, the Welshman, is getting ready to come on. Late season acquisition for Jimmy Nielsen as well. Double giving chase, able to get around Anthony Wallace. And CJ Cochran able to hang on to it. And we're getting word now that Jonathan Brown is going to replace Jose Angulo, who's really had a terrific night. Had a hand in all 3 goals, 2 assists, and a goal on the evening. Jose Barril trying to get on the right side of Olsen here. Mathers comes away with it. Around Juan Pablo Guzman. Former Duke Blue Devil looking for some options.
And you can see right there, I talked about the disconnect, you know. Sam Rogers has to do a better job. He's pushed, the team's now pushed forward into the final third, and he's got to push them up higher and kind of bridge that gap a little bit, give themselves more options as they continue forward.
Buchik also has a goal to his name tonight. Sam Rogers. Nanasinkum. Fuchik, long for Richard Dixon, who's getting forward from the fullback position. Still Richard Dixon. Got caught for a moment, taken down, and the referee will blow the whistle. It will be a free kick for OKC Energy FC in a very dangerous area.
And the first time tonight that we've seen either of the fullbacks getting forward with any real intention whatsoever. Again, we talked about not having to call their names except for a few minor glimpses in the first half, and Richard Dixon trying to get in on the act, going forward well.
And now Jonathan Brown, the Welshman, is going to come on and replace Jose Angulo, who had an absolutely magnificent night. A hand in all 3 goals, terrific vision, as well as the terrific ability to finish off the ball.
Angulo, 2 assists and a goal, and again, the phenomenal ball into Waj, and Waj with the clinical finish to the near post, and then continued on to the second half early on. Great ball in to Miguel Gonzalez, who was able to finish it off and put the squad up 2-0, and then Angulo saying, you know what, anything you can do, I can do better, or at least try. Some fancy little footwork inside the front of the box, going to the near post and putting his squad up 3-0, and his night's going to be done. But again, another stellar outing for Jose Angulo as he continues his transition into this OKC squad and beyond.
Not only a terrific night for Jose Angulo, but really a terrific second half of the season. Jonathan Brown, his first touch of the game on the free kick, and he almost put it away. What a moment that would have been for the Welshman, but just wide.
How about Jonathan Brown stepping in, as you said, his first touch of the game. Wasn't sure if he was going to go near or far, and just has a nice little bender with his right foot. Thought it might have kissed the post a little bit here. Nope. Just a little dab. Solid effort.
Long range effort. Lang will see that go out of play. Morelos is a proud partner of Energy FC. Get your grocery shopping done and buy your tickets to the next Energy FC home match at Supermercado Morelos stores on Southwest 59th and Santa Fe and Northwest 50th and Meridian. Ulysses trying to get there. Jose Barril. A couple defenders, but Zach Mathers tracking back extremely well. It'll fall to Barril. He goes for the curler, and it's an easy sang for Cody Lang.
Well done by Cody Lang. He's been in the match for about 10 minutes so far, and having to deal with all the frustration of OKC and all the energy they've actually brought to the game tonight. It's got to be frustrating from this SQ squad coming into such a solid venue and amazing atmosphere, knowing that you're not going to be progressing any further along with your season and going down 3-0. But again, you're a professional. 20 minutes left in the match. You got to finish it off.
And now we are going to get a substitution from Ezra Hendrickson. His third and final substitution of the night, and it's going to be Shandon Hapo coming on and replacing the 16-year-old Azriel Gonzalez, who, when he did have the ball, he looked extremely dangerous. So a very nice outing for the youngster.
Again, Azriel Gonzalez, we talked about his technical ability, and like you said, Tyler, just didn't really get many touches on the ball and a little bit lost in translation in the game on that left-hand side of the pitch. But at 16 years old, making an appearance, I'm sure some great things lie in waiting for him in the future.
Well, Ezra Hendrickson says that this is a player who's gifted, motivated, and just has great soccer instincts. Certainly great praise from a man who's really played at the highest levels. Ezra Hendrickson. Metro Stars, LA Galaxy, Charleston Battery, DC United. Played for the St. Vincent national team from 1995 until 2008. Soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, visit nikesoccer.com.
Sometimes when we get into these situations with a team like S2 who's not having the greatest of outings and haven't been able to finish off the season quite as well as they'd like, you know, you always look for a silver lining and how you can benefit from it going forward.
Brown to the outside. Not a bad ball in. Alex Dixon was a little bit behind the play. It'll be a throw in for S2.
I think that one thing they can take as a silver lining, as we were talking about going forward, is that, you know, you do have the likes of Ezra Hendrickson and the opportunity to learn from such a seasoned veteran at, as you mentioned, Tyler, so many different levels. not only the international experience, but captaining them for 12 years. And being at the helm of any squad, yet alone the head of your country, has got to be a great honor and cool distinction to share with some of your compatriots that you're dealing with going forward. And 3 MLS Cup championships. Obviously the All-American run that he had back at Drake at University in the early 90s, and just all of that translating into a coaching effort is something as a player you want to try and maximize your efforts on and just pick his brain as much as possible, because he is just a sponge full of knowledge.
Ulysses. OKC Energy just trying to manage this one out. Up 3-0 thanks to goals from Vucic, Miguel Gonzalez, and Jose Angulo. Olsen trying to slide it through, but CJ Cochran off of his line. Probably one of the easier 73 minutes in CJ Cochran's career. Still hasn't made a clean save yet. And OKC Energy FC well on their way to Greater Nevada Field to take on Ian Russell and Reno 1868 in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Again, this is side who has some unfinished business, falling to Vancouver Whitecaps FC 2 in the conference semis last year, 3-2. Jose Angulo having to look on from the sidelines for the remaining 17 minutes or so, but he's certainly done his job. And if they are going to make a run into the playoffs, you have to imagine that he's going to play a big role in that.
As a player, you always want to finish off 90 minutes if possible, but hey, 2 assists and a goal in about 65 minutes of play. I'll take it.
It's a decent efficiency rating.
The difference between the two squads tonight, obviously going forward there's a massive difference, but don't sleep on S2. They have had a few opportunities here and there, but talking about efficiency, Tyler, just OKC able to convert it much better than the Sounders 2 squad has.
Great step from Highland, although the pass to Vucic didn't have enough zip on it. Here's Adoa trying to fend off Jose Barril. No call from Kevin Broadley, and will be a goal kick. And you've mentioned before, Devin, now this is an OKC Energy team who like to sit back, absorb pressure, move on the counter, and then there are a couple other teams throughout the Western Conference who like to have the ball, like the Real Monarchs, for instance, Reno. If you're heading into the postseason in these single elimination type scenarios, if you were managing a team, which philosophy would you go with?
Yeah, I like to have the ball. I think it makes it a lot easier to dictate. One of the things that I was always talking about, make the ball do the work, and that goes in a couple different directions. The ball's at your feet, everybody else is chasing, which, especially if you're playing another team that likes to maintain possession, all that's going to do is cause frustration on their end, and they're probably going to be more apt to take more chances and, push themselves out of the uniform that they're used to being in, which then opens up opportunities for you. And just going forward, you'll be able to be a little bit more creative, and it is nice to watch. I mean, I'm going off topic a little bit, I am a Liverpool fan, and then they play a different style of soccer than I'm used to seeing and liking, but at the same time, it works at certain points in time. Obviously, the defensive struggles, but I just think being able to have the ball and dictate the entire match at the end of the day, if you go back and look through all the great squads at every level that the teams have played at, whether it be international or USL, and just drifting into each and every league, usually the great ones are ones that are great possessors of the ball. How was that answer for you?
Thorough, accurate. I don't agree with it, but
it's okay.
Whatever floats your USL boat, man.
That's why you're over there and I'm over here. You enjoy your side of the booth, and I'll enjoy mine.
We need a partition in here. Own a piece of Energy FC lore and bid on an authentic game-worn jersey from the 2017 season. Visit energyfc.com/jersey auction for details on how to bid. Olsen couldn't get that first touch right. Miguel Gonzalez and company maybe looking for number 4. Alex Dixon is away on the far side. He's yet to get in on the action. Dixon into the middle. It's one way to clear the ball if you're Rodrigo. And another substitute coming for Jimmy Nielsen. And it is going to be Cody Andrews coming on and replacing Richard Dixon. And this is a very good sign if you're an OKC Energy fan, as he is coming on and getting minutes after that what looked like a horrific collision with Cody Lorendi. Obviously Lorendi getting the worst end of it, done for the rest of the season with a lower leg injury. And now Cody Andrews coming on, and he's just going to get a little runabout and just trying to get him match ready heading into the postseason. But great run from Richard Dixon, and this back line has been superb tonight.
Yeah, very well done by the OKC back line in general, and you can see Richard Dixon applauding the fans, and I'm sure they're applauding his performance right back. Richard Dixon, great job in maintaining the pressure against that opposition of S2 and Felix Chenkum up top. A lot of things being thrown at him, but Richard Dixon being able to hold him off for the most part. And as you said, Tyler, just bringing Cody Andrews on, it's got to be positive and uplifting for all these OKC fans with that nasty collision and just his ability to get in, get a nice little run in, and get a little bit more match fit before we ended in the playoffs.
Vucic, great little back heel for Jose Barril, and OKC Energy are away on the other end. Barril, look at that ball for Alex Dixon. Dixon trying to finish it off, but he can't do it. Would have been a world-class goal from OKC Energy FC, but Alex Dixon could not put the finishing touches on it.
I mean, it's just so impressive to watch this team go forward. Sexy little back heel by Waj. Plays a nice little ball into Barril, and Barril with an absolutely amazing outswinger with his right foot. And Alex Dixon, once again, the frustration just continues to mount for him. Cannot finish off these chances that he had. You can see him having a nice little talking to on his own, but OKC just continues to impress going forward.
USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting USLsoccer.com and give them a follow on Twitter at USL. A little more than 10 minutes remaining here at Taft Stadium. Tyler Terrens along with Devin Kerr. Glad to have you with us. 3 goals from OKC Energy FC. 2 in the second half, 1 in the first. Goals by Vucic, Miguel Gonzalez, and Jose Angulo in that order. And it looks like we're going to have the third and final substitution from Jimmy Nielsen on the night. Chad Bond going to go ahead and replace Jose Barril. And Barril, as always, providing that technical ability in the middle of the park that allows them to be able to play that flashy style of counterattack football that they love to play here in Oklahoma City. And Jose Barril coming off to a nice round of applause for quite possibly the last time in the 2017 USL season.
Yeah, Jose Barril, solid shift from that young man this evening. Him and Angulo were very impressive in their performances, and as you mentioned, the creativity and their ability to just take players on, provide opportunities for their teammates going forward. It's been absolutely amazing to watch.
Adoa trying to spin Kyle Highland. For Ulysses. Early ball in. Andrews mistimed it, but it ended up working out. And it is going to be offside. And if you're Jimmy Nielsen moving forward, any personnel issues that, not necessarily issues, but good problems to have, any decisions that you'll need to make heading into the postseason in terms of your starting 11? Is it going to be based on the team that you're playing against, or do you think that it's more so of a straightforward concept for Jimmy Nielsen in terms of who he wants to go with?
I think going into the conversations with him, it's probably going to be what Jimmy wants. You know, Jimmy very confident in his squad and the way that they're playing right now. And although as a skipper, you know, you take a lot of tactical things into consideration when bringing out your starting 11. He said to us, you know, I asked him the question point blank. I said, listen, is there anybody you're afraid of or that, you know, we said, anybody you'd like to play, and he said he wasn't going to let us know. And I said, is there anybody you're afraid of? And he said, absolutely not. You know, they don't lack confidence whatsoever. So I think Jimmy's probably going to do what Jimmy wants to do. And, I mean, to be honest, how could you not? They are firing on all cylinders right now.
Second ball falls for Jonathan Brown. Sends it back in, cleared away by Sam Rogers. And Kevin Broadley telling Anthony Wallace to get off of Vidoa's shirt. And a free kick for S2 the other way. All three substitutes used for both coaches for the 83-minute mark.
The game slowed down a little bit here. You know, we saw the nice little combination play from Jose Barril before he stepped off for the evening, but for the most part, both squads just kind of settling down, a little bit more lethargic in their efforts here in the second half.
Goes all the way out wide. S2 with an opportunity here. Here's a long-range effort. Oh, what a spectacular strike. S2 on the board in emphatic fashion. And it's Shandon Hapo who gets the tally for Seattle Sounders too. What a magnificent strike.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tyler, I saw him cut the ball in. You could see me motioning to have him have a go. CJ Cochran absolutely furious with his backline, and he should be. OKC Energy, nobody steps to this ball, but credit to Shannon Hapo. Taking all three players on from OKC Energy. Just a little touch inside, gets it across the top of the box, and just has a go to that far corner. I think CJ Cochran needs to do a little bit better there. He's screened by his backline, and Anthony Wallace looking around going, you know, what was that? Everybody standing in front of CJ Cochran, but solid performance by the youngster.
Shandon Hapo, the Hawaiian native, just with a brief aloha to CJ Cochran. Magnificent strike from the 18-year-old. And S2 on the board here, so no clean sheet for OKC Energy FC.
And that's going to be very frustrating for Jimmy Nielsen. I'm sure there's going to be a talking to in a stern fashion for sure at the conclusion of this game. Obviously going forward, putting those goals away, very impressive, but you want to keep that 0. You said use this as a little bit of a dress rehearsal for the playoffs. Obviously the counterpart and the counter punches are going to be much different in the coming days coming from that Reno squad, but nonetheless, you do a better job defensively closing out this game.
Anthony Wallace on the corner for OKC Energy FC, who are maybe looking to answer back with a goal of their own. Good ball in. Miguel Gonzalez had a free header. Wasn't able to get the timing down. David Olsen clears it away. And Jonathan Brown will go all the way back, but not before we have a foul called.
Felix Chingham just throwing a little bit too much weight around as he tried to apply pressure to the back line of this OKC Energy squad. Actually, a nice little ball played in by Anthony Wallace. I was a little bit critical of their distribution from the set point, from the set pieces throughout most of the match, but we saw Brown come on and have a solid free kick on his first touch, and then Anthony Wallace doing well from the corner piece.
Here's the goal scorer, Hapo, on the far side. First ever Hawaiian player to sign a contract with the Seattle Sounders. Trying the big switch over for Nadoa. Cut out by Highland. Long for Miguel Gonzalez. Vucic running with him, but it's offside. And there were a lot of fans on this near side who were even with the play, who were wagging their finger, but probably the right call from the assistant referee.
Yeah, I think they need to keep the Dikembe Mutombo at home because Waj looks like he was about 4 or 5 yards offside, in my opinion, from our angle that we caught. I mean, you can see, oh yeah, he's got a solid 3 or 4 steps there, and Waj just letting everybody know that even though the whistle had been blown and nobody else was playing, he had no problem finishing it off in the back of the net.
Here's Jonathan Brown in plenty of space, now quickly closed down. And nicely done by David Olsen. The referee saying play on. And S2 maybe looking to leak out on the other end. Zach Mathers played into space. It's a race to the ball with Anthony Wallace. Mathers beats him there. Long for Adoa. He sends it in. David Olson bringing it down, but Wallace there to bail OKC Energy out.
And you can see the frustration from David Olson, and obviously their heads are going down a little bit. It's so difficult to continue in matches like this. Like you said, Tyler, it's the last game of the season.
And that's a reckless challenge in the back. Rodrigue L with a very aggressive challenge. Vucic Wojcik down on the ground, and L going to receive a yellow card, so the Cameroonian being shown mustard here in the 88th minute. And Vucic will get some medical attention as well.
We talked about the frustration before with David Olson and the guys going forward, and that's just a continuation of it as well. Rodrigue L not really making any effort to play on the ball whatsoever, just kind of throwing that big 6-foot frame of his around the Cameroonian, just trying to get the game over with. And unfortunately, Waj is going to be on the nasty end of that challenge. Just like to see the emotions remain calm and close this game out and not let the frustration boil over for any of these guys. Good display of sportsmanship between the two of them right there.
Well, Vucic is certainly a warrior, and having missed so much of the regular season due to that arm injury, it's going to take something nasty to keep him off the field for the rest of the season, especially heading into the playoffs. We're getting word now that we're going to have a minimum 2 minutes of stoppage time. Anthony Wallace just trying to clip it in, finds Miguel Gonzalez, but L able to cut it out. Adoa trying to squeeze it through. If you have a change on the stoppage time, it'll be a minimum of 3 minutes. Forward for Alex Dixon, Lang off of his line. It's up falling to Apo.
Very smart by Alex Dixon. I think he saw that big frame of Cody Lang coming out. Didn't want to get a path of that freight train.
2 minutes left in the regular season. Probably the right move. Schenkum. He's really been kept in check by this OKC Energy back line. Miguel Gonzalez along for Vucic. Goes to ground and gets it all right, but the second time got it wrong. Wasn't even close to where the foul was committed. The referee was looking right at it and said, go ahead. Apo, just out of the reach of Zach Mathers. Good challenge from Schenkum. Olsen trying to squeeze his way through. David Olsen. Cochran able to make the save. Olsen looked like somebody might have poked the ball out from underneath his feet just at the last minute. Certainly could have made the last 3 minutes very interesting.
Yeah, well done by David Olsen, just continuing play there. I mean, an absolutely phenomenal challenge by Felix Schenkum, throwing that body around. Big Cameroonian being able to get involved here in the final minutes of this game. See another fun little 50-50 in the center of the park.
Schenkum pushing forward with Olsen. Now it's along for Adoa. Blocked by Kyle Hyland, and it will be a corner for Seattle Sounders 2, who are maybe looking to cut the deficit to just 1 here in the final moments of the 2017 USL regular season. This is the last order of business before we can officially shift all of our attention to the postseason. Maybe room for one more goal for OKC Energy FC. It's a foot race. Alex Dixon is there, slides it across for Jonathan Brown. His path is diverted. Brown, Miguel Gonzalez in plenty of space. That's who he picks out. Gonzalez going for the curler, but blocked in front. And nicely done by Ulysses.
And very well done by S2 tracking back there. You almost sensed that OKC was going to get a fourth. But very good job by the Sounders 2 squad to make sure they deny them of that quattro as we're in the final minute here of this match.
And CJ Cochran just going to see this one out. Waiting for someone to put pressure on him. Finally, David Olson arriving. And what a nice send-off for the hometown fans here at Taft Stadium as OKC Energy FC put on a counter-attacking clinic against this very young but talented S2 group. Fucci, Gonzalez, and Jose Angulo with the goals for Jimmy Nielsen. And they are going to walk away with the number 6 seed. And waiting on the other side, Dane Kelly, Chris Wehan, Antoine Hopino, and Reno 1868. Well, it's official. OKC Energy FC with 3 points tonight clinch the number 6 seed where they will take on Reno 1868, and they will head to Greater Nevada Field in the first round of the Western Conference playoffs. Jose Angulo was magnificent with a goal and 2 assists. Devin Kerr, your thoughts?
Yeah, I just think the youth and inexperience of the Sounders 2 squad led to pleasure and praise for the OKC squad. They were amazing going forward. Would have liked to see them close out the game a little bit better defensively, but I think 3-1 was very deserving, and you know, again, a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs going forward.
Absolutely. OKC Energy FC ending their regular season on a high note, and they will take this terrific form into the postseason. Coming up on the other side of the break is the post-match report brought to you by UCO's Downtown NBA. Final score from Taft Stadium, OKC Energy FC 3, Seattle Sounders 1. We'll be back in just a moment.
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5. Celebrate our 5th anniversary and renew your season membership today.
I don't think any city in America has come as far as fast as Oklahoma City. And the reason you see so many highly educated 20-somethings moving to the city is that vibe, is that energy.
And we want to be a part of that. We believe our MBA program is just as vital, it's just as interesting, it's just as engaging as other parts of people's lives. We can provide students with this incredible opportunity to learn in the places where they're living, working, and playing.
All smiles here at Taft Stadium as the Grid and the OKC Energy FC supporters saw 3 fantastic goals. They saw 3 fantastic points. And now they will see their superb side head to the playoffs and head to Greater Nevada Field to take on Chris Wehan, Dane Kelly, and the rest of Reno 1868 in the opening round of the Western Conference playoffs. Tyler Terrence along with Devin Kerr, glad to have you had you with us. Or if you're just joining us, we'll give you a quick recap of what happened over the course of these great 90 minutes. And off the bat, OKC Energy had a couple chances. S2 found a rhythm in the beginning of the first half, but couldn't put anything away.
And we talked about statistics a few times that, you know, OKC able to capitalize on their chances a little bit better. 10 shots in the first half, 6 on goal. As we're going to see a great representation of this ball from Jose Angulo, played to the back post, and Watch is able to slot it by Tyler Miller on the near post and put them out 1-0 and running.
And then it would continue to be the Jose Angulo vision show as he's able to find Miguel Gonzalez, and Miggy able to tuck the second goal of the game away.
And I think the ideology with the Energy this evening was just absolutely brilliant. And as you mentioned, the vision, Tyler, just Jose Angulo doing a great job back to the goal. You see that cheeky little ball played in behind the back line. Spacing not very good for S2 this evening with their defenders, but again, Gonzalez with a solid finish.
And then Jose Angulo on the other end, he had enough of the distributing part of the game. He wanted to put the ball in the back of the net, and he did it in emphatic fashion.
Yeah, just playing a little 1-1 game and ended up taking on 3 players from the S2 squad, cut it back onto his left foot, and just a solid finish.
And then Jonathan Brown, his first touch of the match would be a free kick that just fizzes wide of Cody Lang as he would replace Tyler Miller. And then this was almost a world-class goal from OKC Energy FC. Look at the ball from Jose Barril. It's all set up perfectly for Alex Dixon until it wasn't.
Yeah, again, a great back heel from Waj and solid vision. Eyes in the back of his head there. Great ball to Jose Barril. And Jose Barril, like you said, just phenomenal spacing with the entire squad. Played to the back post and unfortunately, the theme of the night, Alex Dixon, could not finish.
And then Shandon Hapo Aloha, the first ever Hawaiian player to sign for Seattle Sounders, with an absolutely stunning strike to get Seattle Sounders 2 on the board, and a silver lining for this very young squad.
Yeah, and again, the silver lining for sure, and Hapo stepping up, having a nice quality finish, and as you said, Aloha, and unfortunately for them this evening, Aloha is going to meet goodbye.
Absolutely. Seattle Sounders 2 season will come to a close. 4 losses in their last 4 matches of the regular season. Here are the final statistics, and really the left side of the graphic there shows it all.
Well, and look, 19 shots, 10 of them on goal. That's the biggest difference right here. And again, being able to put 3 of them away, 33% of their chances that hit the target went into the back of the net. It's an absolutely phenomenal statistic. And again, just so many positive things going forward for this OKC squad.
And the Energy FC post-game show is brought to you by UCO's Downtown MBA program. Connect to the future of business. Finish your MBA from Central in just 16 months. Visit mba.uco.edu for more details. And our UCO MBA man of the match is none other than number 9, Jose Angulo, who is absolutely superb tonight.
And how could it not be? I mean, again, spectacular, superb.